What's up, Flannelverse? We've got another very special guest here today. The only man who has made every single Best Ball Mania final. He won it, won the very first one. He's also the busiest man in the game, as far as I know, because he is running a new newsletter, the FF in 60 newsletter. He's also running Fantasy Best Ball, and he works for ETR. I don't know how he does it all, so we can ask him that ourselves right now. I'm going to bring in Justin Herzig from Establish the Run. Very happy to have Justin here. Oh, I did it again. I do this every time. Justin, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. That was our thinking outside the box, right? Just put a box in the middle of us.
Exactly,
and that really
right.
Gets us to stop drafting Adam Thielen and Christian.
Yeah. I really need to do. Everybody else has like an intro video, so they do the intro and then the video plays, and then you bring the guest in. It's all really smooth, and I just have not gotten around to doing that yet. Justin, but can you answer my question? Let's just start there. How do you do everything that you do? Because you also have a baby, right? Like you have a really young child. On top of running this new newsletter, which to me seems like it would be pretty time intensive. You're running I guess Fantasy Best Ball probably doesn't take up too much time, but it seems like there's not enough minutes in the day to do everything you do.
Yeah. And it's funny because the whole inspiration for the newsletter was very much driven by having the kid. So I had a kid in January, and I just kind of had a realization that I just can't keep spending all my time on a computer screen, specifically just doom scrolling Twitter and learning everything I can to prepare me for best ball. But also I can't be lost when my edge in best ball, one of my edges, I think, was being up on the news. And so, a few months back, I was looking for hey, is there something that just kind of each morning I can kind of catch up on everything from the day before? And I didn't think it existed. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to go build it. And it actually has led to me because right now my daughter, she goes to bed around 7, and then I probably stay up for an extra couple hours at night. And that's when I make sure I've got a decent process to make sure that I'm getting all of the beat reporters, I'm getting all the athletic, I'm getting all of the main blurbs and such. But because I know I'm going to spend those couple hours a night during the day, I'm not feeling like I have to be on there. So it actually indirectly, even though I'm the one building the newsletter, has helped me just get time box of, hey, these 2 hours, I'm just going to be heavy in there, and I have a process to discover everything. And the rest of my day, I mean, it kind of opens it up to be a little more creative, spend time with the family, and just do kind of ETR stuff as well.
So you do it at night. I wondered because you release it at 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, super early. But you do it the night before. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you worry that you're missing out on during the day? You'll get some big news where you're oh, this player is going to rise quite a bit, this player is going to drop quite a bit as a result of some injury, whatever. Because you're not paying as much attention during the day, are you nervous about just missing out on some of those quick risers or fallers during the day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in the ETR Slack, and we're still going through everything. Okay, so it's not like I'm really missing out, but I would say it's just the important things. They still pop up, but all that 90% of things that don't matter, especially the things in the past week where someone was carded and then literally went back to practice, and
so
things that if we waited a couple hours, I probably would have figured out whether or not this actually matters or such. Even the Isaiah Likely, how quickly that actually came to be, announcing that first carded, then this is going to be a multi-week absence. Them being willing to announce that so quickly had to be oh crap, this is bad. You don't say that unless this is actually at least that long, and that's what happens. Came out, we have a fracture. This might be more of a 6 to 8 week timeline. Ankles are dangerous. Ankles are bad recovery. Ankles have lingering impacts. So you got to figure out, obviously you can tell what really matters and when do they come back in practice and what does the actual fractures.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting one. I gathered from your newsletter, you were not super in on Likely anyway. Neither was I. So that's I complained a few weeks ago about how none of the news ever seems to break my way. I guess technically this sort of broke my way, but I'm also not even a huge Mark Andrews bull. But no, there's another thing that I really wanted to talk to you about, which is bad beats. Specifically, I believe you were an inch away from, I mean, an inch may be an exaggeration, but you were about to win a milli, I think, on DraftKings last year. Was it Jaden Reed who you had in your lineup? Had 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah.
What did you need?
One catch for 12 yards was it. So I think it was 2.2 points on DK. It may have been, I don't think he was near the bonus or anything like that. But yeah, it ended up being about that, one catch for 12 yards. And he dove over the goal line to get that touchdown near the end of the half. It then goes to halftime. The crazy part as well is this was my birthday's New Year's Eve, and this was on New Year's Eve. This is the, week 17. We had recently moved to a new house. My wife threw like a birthday / New Year's Eve party. And going into the game, like I knew where I stood, but I don't know, like I've gotten to the point where I'm still sweating a little, but like not nearly to the degree of like I'm at a party, birthday, and I was so far behind with the Jaden Reed, like he needed to still put up a ridiculous amount. And I kind of had second either locked or mostly locked up. So it wasn't until like he had that first touchdown, had the momentum. I have a group chat going. You had Bales who was in on it. Jennings actually had like an equity swap with me because he had one team in there as well. So we've got this group chat going, and like, just it's getting more excitement, more excitement, more excitement. It's halftime. That's the first time I actually started talking to people at the party about it because they could see I was on my phone a little. And then I think Bales just texted. I think it just said, "Oh, F. I don't want to demonetize you." And that's when like I hadn't been paying attention, but like I was like, "Oh, this is bad." And yeah.
I guess I did that. It came up in your Rolling Stone article, which that was really fun. Also, by the way, to be able to read about a fellow best ball nerd in the Rolling Stone. Never thought I would see the day. And you were you on any physical magazine covers, or was it just the like digital cover?
So the way it is just digital now, the way that they've changed their magazine is their physical covers are almost exclusively music, and all of their more cultural aspect stuff is on the web version. Cool. So the writer kind of pitched as like cover of Rolling Stone online.
I mean, it's still very, very cool to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. I'm sure they got a lot of people to sign up. Like I was not a Rolling Stone subscriber. I signed up just to read the article because I was like, that's pretty fascinating. That was very cool. Any other bad beat stories? Those are always like sort of my favorite to talk about. Either bad beats or like awesome. Obviously, you won Best Ball Mania, so that's obviously an awesome story. Any other big ones?
Just funny story. So my first kind of foray into like higher stakes or fantasy football was qualifying for the fantasy draft Millie, which was just 12 people competing for the $1 million. And this was fantasy draft back in the day where like the amount of overlay was crazy, the amount of promos that were going on. And so qualified for that. There's 12 of us in Charlotte, North Carolina. The field is probably one of the most stacked fields I've ever seen. You've got the Chipotle brothers, you've got Osimo, you've got a couple of it was just crazy stacked. And so on that 12 people, I ended up beating both Chipotle Gate brothers. I beat Osimo and literally no one else. It was just like the four of us at the very bottom, but like me as, new to this industry, knowing nothing except, but it was like, holy crap, I beat them. And literally we lost to everyone else. So I thought that was like kind of I think I'm doing something right, but like maybe not kind of thing.
Yeah, that's, I mean, obviously like a 12-person final, like there's so much luck involved at that point, but yeah, you probably were doing something right. Andrew asked, can we see the winning? I don't have the winning team in front of me. As I recall, the only thing that I know about your team is it was like a bully RB, like it was a, what do you call, fragile RB. You had 4 running backs. I think you started with 3 running backs and then like took another one late, essentially. Is that
well, okay. So it's funny because it was a hyper fragile RB, and I'd say 60%, 70%. There was no way to really track it back then, but like a large majority of my teams were hyper fragile at the time because in that world, you could find such good values of wide receivers later on. And so the other thing is, it wasn't like those were that early. I think it was probably first round, second round, like 5th and 8th round were the because it also had Travis Kelce. It had like the wide receivers were not great. They kind of,
you don't even remember your own winning team in Best Ball Mania.
A while ago. Okay, so you had Julio Jones. You had Tom Brady to Gronk as a stack with Julio as the bring back. Kelce was the other. So both those 2 tight ends counted in week 17. Kamara, Chris Carson, Tony Pollard, maybe one other. Yeah, I don't know. It was a while ago, and
yeah, I mean, I guess basketball, you have 18 players on your team. It's a little bit harder to remember than DFS stuff.
AJ Hamler had like a 2 touchdown in week 16. I remember that. That was a big one to kind of get to that space. And then obviously the Kamara was a Christmas Day Christmas Eve. He had the 6 touchdowns, almost 7, but they decided to give Taysom 1.
That's insane. Yeah, that's pretty cool run out there. All right, let's get into a draft, and then I'll start addressing chat a little bit more. We're going to get into a best ball mania draft now. 20-second clock if you want to get in with us.
While you're doing that, so I see Tyler's comment here. This is probably the funniest part about the whole Rolling Stone thing to me. The first paragraph of the Rolling Stone article, then the stuff that was not behind the paywall, it started off with Ariel is a normal person. Ariel works in tech, does Pilates, and avoids gluten. And like, my wife is not on social media. She's one of the most private people out there. And like, for the article just to start like with her was absolutely hilarious to everyone that knows her and like our families. Yeah.
She did not want to be front and center for that.
She had 2 or 3 interviews with the writer through the process, but like always was expecting those were like background articles and, you know, for like to right. And like I had to not fight her, but like convince her to include a picture of her as part of this as well. Just you know who she is and such. But yeah, so it was just hilarious when it started off as like about her.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. So but do you use the line? Do you tell her, "Baby, I'm a Rolling Stone"?
Yeah, I would be sleeping. I already sleep on the couch enough because of having a baby, but yeah, that would just lock myself in there.
Bijan just went 101 in this draft. Let's I guess we'll see what falls to us. But we are in the 3 hole.
I've been getting a lot of Barkley because it feels like obviously
I'd
rather have Jamar. Yeah, I'd go with Barkley.
Okay.
I still think that Barkley's actually a better pick than Bijan. I think you can sell me on median projection outcome being Bijan better because of the pass catching role and like maybe you just expect a little drop in efficiency from the Saquon. I don't know if I completely buy that, but I think that's pretty close. But one thing with the Bijan is you still have this world where Tyler Algier can still play a major role. And yes, like the second half, maybe second and third, like other than the first third of last year, like when they kind of switched from the Tyler Algier to the Bijan, it was a lot more of him. But that doesn't mean that like Tyler Algier is not a very competent player that the team really likes and has that kind of veteran status. That it wouldn't shock me if maybe he has a minor injury or maybe just they decide to kind of play it a little differently, that Algier plays a little more than what we're expecting. And that just doesn't exist for Saquon. Like Shipley, AJ Dillon, you're not going to convince me that they're ever going to eat into Barkley's workload, barring the major injury. And that kind of is enough of a tiebreaker for me when we're, at this high. And I don't quite get why Bijan has really widened that gap between him and Barkley.
So are you playing it that way where you're not really taking Bijan ahead, or do you still like, because you want to be flattened exposures, do you still take Bijan over Barkley a lot of the time?
Right now, I'm just going Barkley. If come end of August, like my gap is just so wide and we're still that way, maybe then I'll kind of start grabbing a little more. But I'm not willing to right now when it's a silly thing to feel strong about, and it's not like I think their projections are very close. I don't feel strongly that way, but I do feel strongly about like the range of outcomes. And I think Saquon just has a bit safer of a, for that high of a draft pick.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll say as well, before the Jefferson injury, I was drafting Jefferson 2 all the time. And so that kind of helped me early on. So I wasn't kind of actually having a lot of Barkley, but now it's made up for it.
Yeah, I'm loading my Barkley bags right now. He's also like you see him fall to like 5 and 6 sometimes right now, so it's easy to get a ton of Barkley, which is pretty fun. I said I was going to address the chat, and I haven't really, but appreciate all of you guys being here. Good to see you. I can't shout everybody out, but I appreciate you being here. I'm just going to call out the question here. Herzig's round 1 ranks. So first of all, I always thought that you were a big part of the ETR ranks until I listened to something recently where it sounded like you're maybe not involved in the ETR best ball ranks. Can you correct the record there? Are you one of the people who works on those, or is that not part of your job? Actually, let's make our pick first, and then
let's make our pick first. Okay. Wow, no wide receivers. Usually T. Higgins would have been my instant pick here. Oh, are you okay with going 3 running backs to start?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if so, let's go Bucky,
Okay.
or JT. I'm fine with either, whatever. Yeah. Um, it's a weird situation with these first couple picks right now, where one of the reasons why I'm okay with Saquon is because taking a running back is because I usually feel pretty good about grabbing Tyreek or T,
Yeah.
and then in the background grabbing that second running back or Trey McBride if he falls to like that early third. Um, so here, if Trey makes it, I think we take him. Otherwise, my personal hack has been grab Lamar, because if you reach on Lamar now, you increase the chance of highly likely getting Zay Flowers in that fifth. I know there's like a little Zay Flowers wasn't at practice, so maybe that should be more concern, but yeah.
Yeah. Not
ETR. So
yeah.
you have a projections team that is Jack Miller, Mark Dankenbring, and then Leone oversees that. That's your core, like in the weeds, managing the core projections. You then have a larger Adam, Evan, me, Dink, a few others that are in the kind of projections chat that are
Okay.
continuing to kind of iterate and provide feedback there. So that's
Gotcha.
how the kind of regular season works. Before the NFL draft, I'm the one that is then in the weeds doing the spreadsheet and doing the projections. And then the larger team are the ones who are giving me the feedback up until the NFL draft. And then right at or about the NFL draft, we do a switch over from best ball projections to actual ETR, bottoms up.
Season long. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Interesting. And Leone talked about that. I had him on last week. We talked about it a little bit. That you and I forget exactly what the process is, but it all starts with like the season long ranks for the best ball ranks. And then okay. So getting back to that question from Charles, can you go over your if you're willing to share your
Yeah,
first
for
round ranks,
sure.
if it's just you?
Yep. So I think Jamar Chase clear number one. 2 to 5, I think, are pretty kind of interchangeable. And for those, for me, it's probably Saquon 2, Bijan 3, CD 4, Jefferson 5. That's because of the Jefferson injury. Previous, I actually had Jefferson up at 2. And then Gibbs is a clear 6 for me. Cut
I
that
think.
off. Okay.
Yep. Good. Go on.
And now from like 7 to 14, 15, I think it's pretty flat. And I kind of just mix them up a little based off ADP, a little based off unique combinations. I might grab Nico a little early because then I'll grab Lad later on for that kind of week 17 matchup. If I'm in the 11th or 12th spot, I'm usually just trying to play the ADP and hope that I can get a unique combo there. But if I was to like give my exact order, I'd probably go McCaffrey 7, Puka 8, Nico 9, Neighbors 10, but maybe 11 depending on this injury. Okay, we're back.
Do we want to go Zay Flowers here? Do we want to push it?
We could probably push it. I'd go Xavier Worthy. Wait, is there a concussion aspect with Xavier Worthy I just saw?
Oh, is there? I missed that if there is.
He's in concussion protocol. I think it's still fine. We're still like 5-6 weeks
It's
out.
early enough. Yeah, we're good. Nice.
And Neighbors, Amon Ra are like the 10 and 11. And then I'd still put the BTJ at 12. And then Genti, Achan. And that's probably where the tier, you then go to that next tier.
Okay. Yep. Wait, sorry, is Bowers in that tier for you? I missed.
He's not.
Okay.
If we're on DraftKings or a PPR site, then he moves up to, you don't need to put him in the end of the first round, but I'd be willing to take him probably at that like 13 spot. I am very much, okay, there's a perfect. Anti elite tight end at their prices. Specifically, I went into this season very anti-elite tight ends based off where Bowers and McBride were going, where Bowers was like early second and McBride was like mid-second. I'm still not doing much Bowers when I can take AJ Brown, Lad McConkey around him. McBride, I've started doing a little just because it's more of a team building thing, like we were talking about, where I'd rather not start 3 straight running backs. But I'm still taking like T. Higgins before McBride.
Yeah, and McBride, like he falls like his range seems pretty wide to me. You'll see McBride go in the second round at like as early as like pick 20, and then I think I've gotten McBride as late as like pick 30. So it's an interesting one where I like him anywhere in the second round, but sometimes still don't take him just because I know I can get him later a lot of the time. Yeah, he's a fun one.
To Tyler's comment here, like Herzig famously follows ADP pretty closely. I would say I'm not often reaching in the first probably 4 or 5 rounds, but there will definitely be guys that I will be strong fading. And I'm more willing to do that. I think the reaching, it's a little, you're giving up the unique combo aspects, which I think are pretty valuable in those early rounds. And you're going against the market when the most knowledge is actually there. If I am going to reach, I'm doing it from a strategic aspect where if we didn't want to grab Lamar, I would have said, hey, let's grab someone like JSN or Brees Hall, someone who's not getting paired with those early guys, someone that's consistently going picks 32 to 36, because then you can get at least a unique combo.
Have you used the DraftKings data at all to kind of inform your how you try to do the combos on Underdog, or do you think the sites are too different to really factor it in?
Okay, so yes, I have used it. When we maybe after we make an maybe I'm trying to think because I can send. I wanted to share my screen. I can show a chart, but maybe we'll say that for afterwards. Give a little teaser, keep people in.
Sure.
After this draft. Yeah, that I just kind of built to give me an idea of what those pairings look like from a visual.
Yeah.
Do I think it applies to Underdog? Macro, yes. Micro, no. Yeah. I mean, it's honestly not that like illuminating as you might think it is. It's pretty intuitive to kind of what you'd expect.
Yeah, no, it for the most part, that's what I found also. There's occasionally you'll be like a little bit surprised. All right, we can make our pick here. So we're at 1220. This is by ADP.
Okay. My lean would be Jacoby.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely don't want to run back.
This is my least favorite range. Yeah. Used to be able you could get like Jawan Jennings in this range. I loved that. Chris Olave. Yes, is just Jacoby's probably better than a lot of people give him credit for. Probably than I give him credit for.
Yeah, the nice thing about Jacoby with this build is like if we end up with a Lamar Geno stack, that's the right level of draft capital I'm looking for. Like we could have gone with the Judy as well because we're not caring as much about the stacking. Wrote about that a couple weeks back. The unstackable players, and Judy was a great example of it. If he falls here, I think we take him. Otherwise, Golden gives us a bring back. Yeah, I'd go Judy.
Yeah. Seems pretty straightforward. Yeah, I love that strategy of like Judy when like you don't have a lot of quarterback outs, like not a great pick. But since we already have a quarterback, we're not as concerned about the quarterback out. So suddenly it's like, all right, I guess I'll take a Judy share. Are you genuinely a believer in the Browns offense this year? Obviously nobody's like a huge believer in the Browns offense, but like we saw last year, like they were terrible with Deshaun Watson. They've been terrible with Deshaun Watson, and then they're better whenever he is not the quarterback. Now it's like the murkiest quarterback situation we've ever seen from them. So to me, it's a more complicated situation than just like, oh, no Deshaun Watson, Browns go Burr, because now it's like, who are they even going to start at quarterback? How are you handling I guess the whole offense? I was going to ask just the pass catchers, but the running backs are pretty interesting to talk about too.
Yeah, I mean, I think being so close to projections teams, I've learned how different kind of the vibes analysis can be on certain teams where like, a lot of people know this stat because they're in the industry and they're smart, but like the Browns threw the most of any team last year. And that just doesn't make sense. And your memory doesn't really remember that. And you're not expecting that to be the same this year. And so for you to feel that like these pass catchers in Cleveland aren't valuable, well, okay, yes, there's a QB situation. Okay, we can account for that. We don't even know who like the clear pass catchers are. Like, is Deontay Johnson going to have a role? Is Cedric Tillman going to have the number 2? Like, can he actually compete for the number 1 based off some reports? Like, yeah, okay, these are all things we can account for. And when the projections still tell us like this team is going to be throwing a bunch, this team is still going to have a fairly tight, like concentrated target share, and Njoku's still going to have a massive target share for the tight end position. Like, we have to trust the numbers at some point. And I think the Browns are just a great example of that, where it feels so gross, but the grosser it feels to you, that's where you need to think like, okay, it also feels gross to all these other people who are drafting, and that's likely had an impact. And then we have the unstackable QB aspect. Nobody wants to take someone like Judy because he keeps falling, because you don't know who to stack him with. These are all reasons why there are probably values and why those players have been kind of keep falling. That doesn't mean we should completely draft a ton of them because they're values, because there's a very clear answer like Judy's upside is capped based off the offensive environment, the QB and such. But to mix in some of these on your team, like it does make sense. So that's how I kind of see, and especially with the Pickett injury, meaning more likely Flacco is going to be the QB at least to start off. And yeah.
All right, we are at 1-2-4-0. We're just about to be on the clock.
Okay, what do you think about your boy Hawkinson? Good reports.
Yeah, I mean at 94, I'll take him. I'm not like going out of my way to get a ton of him, but I'll take him at 94 if you like him there.
We're in a bit of a weird spot right now too, with the Pittman also has this injury. We're likely not going to get Mark Andrews unless we're reaching on him, but I'd rather take the Hawkinson.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I mean, would you not want to take Mark Andrews if we had not taken Hawkinson? Would you not want to take Mark Andrews at 99? I can't figure out where he's going to wind up now with the likely injury.
I think he'd be fine. I think we'd be fine to even double tap right now with the Hawkinson and the Mark Andrews and make this. But the one thought as well is we have Lamar, so I probably want this to be a 2 QB team. So like then are you building a 2-6-8-2? I think that could work, and just not grabbing any more running backs for a while. But again, like, okay, so who we're talking the Geno stack. There's no other thing we're going to go for here. It's just an ugly spot right now with other positions.
Yeah.
I probably would be good with the Jalen Warren as well.
Okay. Cue him up. Cue up Andrews.
And then like Lamar's a player that I don't feel like I need a double stack. Like I'm perfectly content with, hey, we have the Zay Flowers. Oh, Jalen Warren goes. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have felt good about Jalen Warren. I don't feel good about anyone else here. I like Andrews.
All right. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Just given the other options, might as well do the rare double stack. Probably done at tight end. Feels okay. Jordan Mason used to be my target in this range. Feels like he is moving up quickly. I feel like we just got reiteration of what we've been told all along, that it's going to be a split backfield with Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones.
But we got it from a beat reporter, and the actual verbiage of the beat reporter was a little different than what I've also seen reported, because I even see some quotes saying like it's going to be an even split backfield or close to an even split backfield, but that's not what the article said. The beat reporter, so it's not even, this isn't coach speak. That's another thing. CSI, like the Coach Speak Index, has done such a great job that I think a lot of people see so much coach speak and then they see a beat reporter saying something and the two kind of get converged. When in reality, most of the time, coach speak is going to be a lot more valuable. There's some rare instances like a Jordan Rodriguez who actually has information, is able to kind of give some good nuggets around the Rams. But for the most part, the coach speak is more valuable. This was a beat reporter kind of giving their insights. They said how. I mean, they said what it was based off. It was based off what they saw at practice, as well as the signing of Jordan Mason. The signing, we all can read that ourselves. We've heard the previous quotes. But the quote was saying that it's not going to be, we shouldn't expect it to be a 50-50 even split, but it's going to be closer to that than what we've seen in previous years. Yeah, right. Of course. Aaron Jones versus Ty Chandler versus Aaron Jones versus when they brought in Jordan Mason. Of course, that's going to be closer. So, like, I still think that's bullish, but I believe that there's some double counting going on for the Jordan Mason that's driving it forward.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I love Jordan Mason at his previous spot because of this is kind of my assumption, is that it's going to be, it might be 55-45, might be 60-40, but then Jordan Mason going to get the majority of the goal line work based on what coaches have said. I feel like there was some coach speak that made it seem like it's probably not going to be like, I think there was coach speak saying like, we have Aaron Jones is better when he can, split the work with somebody else. There's been a lot of that. So to me, this was like non-news. And as you say, like, it's also a beat reporter. So yeah, it does not strike me as something that should be moving markets, but now it's like Jordan Mason moving up quickly. I think the flippening is, I think you said this in your newsletter, and I think it's accurate. Probably the flippening is coming of Jordan Mason over Aaron Jones. And at that point, like I've always been like, I actually that was one of my hottest takes early on, was take Jordan Mason over Aaron Jones. That if I did ranks, I would have him ahead, which was meant to be like a hot take.
Provocative.
And now it's like, all right, well, that's just, now that it's happening, I'm like really testing myself, and I'm like,
Right.
I don't know, Aaron Jones is pretty good too, so it's a tougher situation.
And when you're not actually in the projections, like it's very easy to just say, oh, Jordan Mason on half PPR because of touchdowns and Aaron Jones on PPR because he's catching passes.
Yeah,
but like
it is.
The difference though of like, okay, well, how many passes and how much more valuable is they pass and how many touchdowns and how many different touches, because Aaron Jones might still have touchdowns. He may just not have goal line. Like those small differences are key, but it's easier for us to just kind of as a blanket be like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Are you a Scatabo guy?
So
he goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Ignore that. I'm fine with, I mean, we're basically wide receivers, the only position I kind of want to look at here. So Burden makes sense to me. Bateman, I guess, already went.
Yeah.
Not someone I really look for. I guess his ADP is 113, I think. Still have those memorized from Jeopardy, you know.
Oh yeah. Apologies for your that was a tough loss. I mean, it seemed like you were just not sleepless on your final Jeopardy appearance. You crushed your first one, and then the second one just as happened to me. I had one really good one really bad one. You just it's all a matter of how you're feeling when you're getting those tough questions.
I don't know about that. Schneid, he just dominated.
He's also
he swept at ADP. He swept the rookie ADP category, and just kind of took it from there. Okay. So my thought process, though, with the running backs, we have two very strong running backs. This is probably going to be a 2-6-8-2 team. And so in that scenario, I don't want us to just be overloading capital on running backs. So I'd probably say like go more with but it's such a dead zone of wide receivers too.
It is. I mean,
yeah, this is one of the downsides of like taking someone like a Lamar early on. Was that and Tootin just went? This is so ugly. Hollywood's injured. I don't like anything. I don't like anything. Sure.
We got Marvin Mims.
It's a bring back to Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's not pretty. Also, this is where I'm usually targeting Dylan Sampson, and we've got the 2 week 9 buys already at running back. So I'm a little bit like,
yeah,
I guess we could take Javonte here. It's gross.
But I definitely don't want Javonte on a team that I'm going to go 6 running backs and have.
Right. And you want the later. We've already got Saquon and Bucky, so we've got like the early season.
All I'm looking for. Yeah. Like if we literally ended this team with 15, 16, 17, 18 rounds of 4 running backs, I'd be perfectly content with that. Like we're looking for one of those to break out. And we've got the first 9 weeks of Bucky, or 8 weeks of Bucky and Saquon.
Yeah. I guess we could have considered quarterback there. Maybe that's where we should.
But then would it have been a naked player or someone we're stacking later? Yeah.
Probably someone stacking later, I assume.
Herbert with Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, I mean, it was there were not great decisions for us there. Like we did not have great options for the way we've set this up.
So I'd say Hollywood Brown actually, I'm in general would have liked if he didn't have the injury that just happened yesterday or the day before. So that kind of just doesn't feel like a great pick there. I have no problem.
What kind of injury does he have? Well, what's the Hollywood injury?
Let's see, because
I think I missed this.
He was carted off with an ankle injury.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in FFN 60 I included him in the supposedly like out, but we just don't know because there's just so many that like I don't know. So that was a tough decision that I had to figure out. Like, do I just show all these injury reports, especially the ones like just happened on day one? And so I've kind of like leaning towards if it's out, I can maybe include them in a 1 line, but then tomorrow or the day after we can get a better idea on what that injury is. But ankle just, I don't know. Like I want to wait a little before I'm drafting Hollywood Brown at cost.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And the market agrees he's still going to be available at 1. Yeah.
Yeah. And at this cost, maybe we can consider him, but I don't know. I mean, I guess here is still like around ADP.
What's his ADP? 130?
131.
30.8.
Uh,
I think I'd probably go running back here and maybe a Romeo Dobbs at the next one, which would be a bring back for our Baltimore.
Yeah, do you like Algier, Najee, Garendo?
Not Rashad, because we already have. So Algier would probably be my top one. Definitely not Najee.
Okay. What are you doing with the cow? Are you doing any like Jadon Blue these days?
I do like Jambo. I just think Algier's like, I don't know, the upside is higher and the median is also higher. So like maybe Jadon Blue's chance of hitting his upside is a little higher because he doesn't need the injury ahead of him. But also you can make the argument, well, Tyler Algier is going to have standalone value and all he needs is an injury. And then we know that he's going to have it, where Jadon Blue could have the injury and still not get it. Like,
yeah, it's a tricky situation. Hoping that he can break in a little bit. I've not drafted a ton of Jadon Blue. I think I'm trying to get more now. All right, do you want to go with Dobbs or?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
He's an ETR favorite. It just doesn't make sense why like he's being drafted where he is as well. And again, this is kind of a projections thing. We believe he's going to be playing in 2 wide receiver sets. If we end up being wrong and it is actually Jalen Reed and Matthew Golden, I'd be shocked given how little Jalen Reed did it last year. So my expectation is you still have Dobbs and Matthew Golden, 2 wide receiver sets. We expect the Packers to actually throw a bit more this year with Jordan Love not having the injury and obviously ignoring the Malik Willis games. And yeah, I mean, the just seems like, well, I always go back to that quote of Romeo Dobbs as well, where someone asked Jordan Love, like, who would your ideal 3 wide receivers be? And I don't remember who the other 2 were. It might have been someone like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson.
Because they were normal choices. Yeah.
But the third was Romeo Dobbs. And like, it could be a bit, but also like, you didn't even choose a different wide receiver on your team.
Right.
You chose
you didn't go
Romeo
Jaden
Dobbs.
Reed.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty telling. And he's been like pretty good. And I say this to somebody, I've been out on Romeo Dobbs like every year that he's been in the league because he's always been like a goes at pick 90 kind of guy. And now it's like, 160. Like he's just an easy bet at that point. He's like he's basically being drafted at his floor at ADP. I think he's maybe moved up a little bit. But yeah, he seems like a great pick. This is Alex S. So yesterday I did a draft. I did some DraftKings drafts, and Alex encouraged me after I'd taken Bijan and Bucky. Sorry, I got to get there. Bijan and Bucky with my first 2 picks encouraged me to reach up for Mike Evans for the third because he's week 15 correlated with one of them, and I did not like any of my choices. So I made the rare decision. I usually don't even take Mike Evans at cost, which maybe I'm a sucker for doing that. But I decided, sure enough, I reached for him in the 3rd round. What do you think of that on DraftKings? Having not looked at the data to see if it was actually unique.
Would I do that because of the week 15 correlation? No, not at all. Would I do that because like Bucky and Mike Evans correlation and also a uniqueness element? Yeah, for sure. And that's where I was saying, like, I don't know if I've done it with Mike Evans, but I think he's a fine person to do it with. But those other players in that area, and this is a strategy I'll probably employ more the end of August, where I have more knowledge of who has and hasn't kind of been available with those players. So if Mike Evans, which he has been for the most part, been around that 3-4 turn, if he stays around there, you're not going to have many pairings with early. I do like that. And in general, I like Mike Evans. I think I'm just bullish on the entire offense. Also that week 17 game against the Dolphins.
Do you like Nick Chubb here or?
Yeah, I'd be fine with Chubb.
There's also Jalen McMillan.
Nope. Chubb is who I was going to recommend.
That's my thought also.
And for me with the Chubb situation is I think there's a decent chance Joe Mixon just doesn't play again this year. The speculation and rumors out there just are not pretty right now. And I think so. Okay.
Oh, do we want another quarterback here?
Oh, Gino. But he's probably gone. We probably missed that.
We probably did miss that. Yep.
Let's grab Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. Not seeing anything else. Yeah, we did. We forgot the Geno thing. I mean, we've got Lamar.
Would that have been last pick, or did we not even have a chance at it?
We didn't have. He went at 163, so we would have had to reach.
Take him. Yeah. And I'm perfectly fine with Anthony Richardson and Lamar, even if we just stick with those 2.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Hopefully Anthony Richardson is starting week 7. If he doesn't, probably not the end of the world. Sorry, we were talking about
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. Yeah. And Nick Chubb. Yeah. Go on there.
Yeah. So the kind of the speculation, the rumors out there are not very pretty. And the NFI list aspect does infer that, or you can infer from that this is something the team is not happy with. It was not sanctioned. I just think that when you go from positive expectations publicly, which they started with, they didn't, they draft Woody Marks, but the intention for Woody Marks was to be a third down back, maybe a Dario Ngwale replacement. You bring in Nick Chubb, who's never going to be your primary guy. Like if you wanted, you could have been more aggressive on someone, all the way up from Rico Dowdle being the first signing to the J.K. Dobbins and such. I was like, they had the faith in Joe Mixon, and then how quickly the tune changed with regards to the timeline and then putting him on the NFI and then just other things that we've been hearing. Like, I don't like it. And so I'm concerned about week 1. I'm concerned about beyond that. What do we do about it? I don't know. Like, I mean, I put that question out for the Nick Chubb, and you had a lot of people saying like, hey, if Joe Mixon is going to be out for the year, then Nick Chubb should be like an 8th rounder. I think that's quite aggressive, especially when you consider the quotes around the Nick Chubb more recently about, well, guy's age.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the quotes, like your takeaway from the quotes, because I feel like there's a lot of different ways to interpret it. Because to me, it was just like, well, obviously he's not the same player he was 5 years ago, but maybe that's not obvious.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, last year he had what was the quote that I pulled in the newsletter? He had the least explosive rate of any running back last year. He was actually 4th among all players. I think like only Jared Goff and like another quarterback or something was worse than him. So like there's not great things there, but also like Kareem Hunt has been very valuable for the Chiefs and not explosive as well. So even though the offensive line for the Texans is bad, like I just think at 166 is probably a pretty strong value, and you're getting closing. If the thesis on Joe Mixon is correct, then that's a great pick.
Yeah, for sure. All right, here's ADP. DeAndre Hopkins is there if we want to go triple stack. Brashard Smith kind of moving up boards.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Michael Wilson. I think there's kind of I'd go with Michael Wilson.
Sure.
Yeah, the argument there is just the cliff for wide receivers is pretty strong. And if we're going to make this a 6 running back team, which it looks like, we don't need to hit as much as kind of that 8th wide receiver. Being a starting wide receiver is more important for us. And when looking at who is going to be available here, DJ Giddens, I really like. Brashard Smith, I think, is a great one as well. You could go with the correlation for Justice Hill. Justice Hill actually gives you 5 running backs if you wanted to just stop at 5 for Justice Hill. You just went. Okay. I do not want Marshawn Lloyd because of groin injury.
I did not mean to start him. Okay. Do you have a preference? Woody Marks still? Oh, we have Nick Chubb. Preference?
I'm fine with Woody Marks. You want to go Woody Marks? If you can pull it fast enough, go for it. Otherwise, I'm fine with what you have in the queue.
Oh, did not get it. All right.
That's okay.
Cool.
The argument there would have been like, hey, we're making the bet on anti-Joe Mixon, and now both Nick Chubb and Woody Marks kind of correlate together. I think Brashard Smith.
I do that with the Browns quite a bit. I don't know why I was opposed to it there. Yeah.
I'll do it with the Jags as well. And 2 years ago, I did it with the Dolphins. Between Achane, Mostert, and Jeff Wilson. A lot of these ambiguous backfields where you think there's going to be, if you like the backfield, but it's just too crowded to really feel comfortable in, all you need is one injury or one player to really just get kicked to the curb. And that's what we saw in Miami with the Jeff Wilson situation. Then Mostert and Achane both had like 40% plus advance rates. Could that happen in Jacksonville again? ETN gets traded to Houston, and now Tank and Bashal and Tootin both have like great years. I don't want to do it in Dallas because I'm just not bullish on that backfield. I don't think like multiple can win, but someone in like a Liam Cohen offense like Jacksonville, yes. Cleveland and Houston, they're just too cheap that it's worth it. Yeah.
Too cheap in the scenario where the presumed starters are out. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, we could have absolutely gone Woody Marks there. All right, where are we at now? We're at 2582. Yeah. So we Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson, Saquon Barkley, Bucky Irving, Tyler Algier, Nick Chubb, Brashard Smith, Xavier Worthy, Zay Flowers, Jacoby Myers, Jerry Jeudy, Luther Burden, Marvin Mims, Romeo Dobbs, Michael Wilson, TJ Hawkinson, Mark Andrews. Do we want to? I guess we could have correlated Richardson with Giddens, and now that ship has sailed. Do we want to take a receiver on the Colts? Do we just not care? What do you think?
I don't care. I think only other than Alec Pierce, no one actually correlates well with Anthony Richardson at their current prices. That doesn't mean in a one-game sample, Josh Downs and Michael Pittman can't correlate with Anthony Richardson. But right now, they've both been brought up in price because the lean is Daniel Jones is starting. So I think you're kind of overpaying for the bet of Anthony Richardson. Alec Pierce, I think he just aligns far better with Anthony Richardson's skill set, led the team in receiving yards last year. That wouldn't happen with Daniel Jones. So that's the player that when I do want to stack. But the DJ Giddens also makes sense because you're betting anti-Jonathan Taylor, which would help Anthony Richardson and DJ Giddens. I think ninth wide receiver is kind of too many wide receivers for this type. Just in general, it is, but especially for this build. So I like the Jarquez. I like the Taj Brooks. I'm not on Keaton Mitchell after the recent comments. I'm not even sure he's going to have like a game day role.
Yep. Any other dart throws you want to throw up here? Or do you like one of these guys?
I like both of those guys. And what we're looking for here is Cincy, Arizona, Rams. Let's go Jarquez Hunter. We have the Algier at least. I don't think
Sure. Good tiebreaker. Two players that I view very similarly. So yeah, like that as a tiebreaker. Hunter, I think maybe a little bit more likely to like eat into the existing role, like have some standalone value without an injury to the starter in front of him. Would you agree with that?
So I think Jarquez Hunter has the ability to just have like a 5 to 6 touch a game role because of explosiveness. I also think he has a better chance of. No, I don't think either of them have a chance at winning the starting job.
Yeah,
just because of how much they love Kyren, but
they really do love Kyren.
If either were to get injured, like. Yeah, they're just close. I can make arguments for both. But I agree with you. The standalone, like Jarquez, does have a little more explosiveness.
I've seen people jokingly compare Sean McVay to Leonardo DiCaprio for his distaste for aging running backs. So like he'll use you and then he'll just throw you away. So maybe, but it doesn't feel like that's going to happen with Kyren this year. It doesn't seem like they're ready to make the move. But especially maybe it becomes like 50-50 later. But if Jarquez Hunter plays really well, I don't know.
Yeah, but especially like it goes back in my mind to the Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears kind of commentary where like each offseason it's, hey, we want to get these guys closer to a 1A1B. We want them to be even. Well, yeah, I would also love to have 2 Saquon Barkleys on my team. And if I did, I would give them an even workload. But turns out when, game actually happens and the pedal to the metal, like they lean on Tony Pollard for a reason. And so giving me the thoughts of like, I want them to have more workload is very different than what I'm actually doing during the games, what I think is best for my chance of winning.
Have you followed the quotes? I tweeted out just before the show, quotes from Arizona on Troy Benson. Like it was early in the offseason. It was like, oh yeah, we think we have 2 starting running backs. Like all of it was so positive. And then the other day, like 2 days ago, the quote is like, do you think that he's going to have more work this year? And the answer is yes and no. It's like, okay. So they're not clearly not separating in practice. They talk about like, we have a lot of running backs we're going to use there. Pretty interesting to see like that they're already conceded, not even to the season yet. And they're like, yeah, probably not going to be a 1A, 1B situation. Interesting to see different backfields unfold.
I'm sure like Jack and Mark have had a field day with me with regard to the Trey Benson, because I feel like over the past 3-4 months, it has been quite the roller coaster. Because as you said, they went into the offseason with quotes saying like, hey, we expect this to be more of a 1A, 1B. We love what Trey Benson. And then you've just seen back and forth of like, and the more recent is James Conner is the guy. And I'm always more likely to default to what we saw last year, which was their faith. So the comments around Trey Benson are good. But when I'm not sure, I'm leaning to what I've seen before. And now that we're getting more the James Conner, like he is the heart of that team. So my Trey Benson exposure before the draft was probably a little more decent because that's when I was leaning into. Like I think he's good spot in that place. And since is probably really low.
Yeah, no, I'm same. I've not taken a ton of Trey Benson. I've been thinking like I should probably get more of this guy. Maybe I should work in more Trey Benson. But I think I had maybe kind of the same process where it's just like last year we thought he was going to be close to a 1B situation. Maybe by the end of the year, he's going to eat into James Conner's role. And it was like, no, they just love James Conner. He's just really good. So yeah, he's been kind of a tough click relative to Tyler Algier or some of the other running backs around there. Where it's just like, yeah, I think I'm pretty confident he's going to be the RB. If something happens to the starter, he might have some standalone role. All right, let's. I'll read off the team. It's a 2-6-8-2. At quarterback, we have Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson. At running back, we have Saquon Barkley, Bucky Irving, Tyler Algier, Nick Chubb, Rashard Smith, and Jarquez Hunter. Wide receiver, we have Xavier Worthy, Zay Flowers, Jacoby Myers, Jerry Jeudy, Luther Burden, Marvin Mims, Romeo Dobbs, and Michael Wilson. Tight ends, we have TJ Hawkinson and Mark Andrews. This is a draft where I don't feel like we had a lot of things go right for us from the standpoint of like the position we need fell to us. I guess we did have some. We had Zay Flowers, we had Mark Andrews to some extent sort of fell to us, I guess. But I feel okay about this team. I think this is like structurally sound. This is certainly a team that could advance, could do well in the playoffs. I don't love having a second quarterback, just two quarterbacks, and one of them is completely uncorrelated. But overall, I feel okay about the team. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think my biggest concern is just the early wide receivers. And normally, like, this is an argument for why you might want to go CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson with that kind of second, third pick. It's very rare that T. Higgins goes 21 or higher, but both T. Higgins and Tyreek are gone before that pick 3, which is why I had more confidence. But like that changes everything, because in the 4th, when we grab Lamar, like, what was it? No, in the third we grabbed Lamar. Yeah. Because we pulled him up. Like, you're already looking at such an ugly spot there. And so no, I feel like we worked with what we have. We made it work. It's fine. But like, we're really missing an alpha wide receiver. And this shows like it's hard to make up for it with quantity, especially when we went for those tight ends. Like, the wide receiver tier just really dropped off. And we would have loved to have grabbed a couple weeks ago, if Michael Pittman was healthy, Emeka Egbuka used to be back there. Like, there were some decent picks that now it's just quite the dead zone when you get to that. I don't know if it's like 8th round or something.
Yeah. You were going to share your screen.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Do I need to like give you permission, or are you able to do it? I can't. I think I have to remove mine probably.
Let's see. I might be able to overtake it. We'll see.
Oh, there we go. I see your screen there. And then I can add that.
So this is me taking a look at how often each quarterback was stacking with their wide receiver 1, wide receiver 3, their tight end, their RB1, RB2, and this is their week 17 opponents. My thoughts going in is that people were going to be, stacking heavily. I don't want to say overstacking because we don't know actually what's under over, but like heavily stacking the wide receiver 1, but not so much the other wide receivers. And really what we were seeing is like, yes, the wide receiver 1s, especially the elite ones, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, BTJ, Drake London, like, are very high. We're talking almost around that 40%. But even these number 2s like are still quite high. If we look at the average down here, we're still 27% for wide receiver 2s, almost 33% for the wide receiver 1s. So people are heavily stacking on DraftKings, I think even more than I was expecting, specifically for this area. Where it gets interesting, and this is why it doesn't apply as much to Underdog, but like when you get into the micro, like Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin were just not stacked much, like so much lower than the rest. And I think it's because when the data came out, they were both going kind of in that, what would that have been, like late 3rd round. So, but this told me, hey, if I have the opportunity to get Jaden McLaurin, I want to do it. Then we have the McLaurin contract situation, and now everyone's falling. It may still be a unique combo, but yeah. And then the other aspect is week 17 on DraftKings, no one is really stacking. Like, there's very, very, very little bringbacks. The only ones that are notable is kind of with the Kyler, for like the Jamar Chase and such here, because I think it just lines up with the Trey McBride and such. But for the most part, these are not much better than just random odds of hitting with your week 17 opponent.
Isn't it Joe Burrow with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Trey McBride? I think or maybe it's without the quarterback. That trio of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Trey McBride, I believe, is the most owned trio on DraftKings as of June 27th. Maybe then it is Kyler. Yeah, it just makes sense because they go with the 1-2 turn, super straightforward to get them there. It might not even be people thinking about the week 17 correlation. It's just like, oh, I've got Jamar Chase. Sure, I'll stack on T. Higgins, and then Trey McBride is just the choice there at ADP. It's kind of interesting to see that. Do you happen to have a screenshot or a way to access where you can show your lineup, your winning lineup from the original Best Ball Mania? Because that's another thing I think people might be interested to see. If you have if you don't, that's cool too.
I would say, honestly, Google or ChatGPT might be able to find it better than I can. Otherwise, I know I have it like way in my either photos or something like that. But no, I don't have like a copy easily available on. Yeah.
All right, let me see if I can find it just real quick.
Okay, I'll take this off the screen. Yeah, as you're doing that, give the stream a like, give him a subscription.
Thank you.
Neil is doing solid work, and this is what are we doing? A 3-hour mega stream today. Only 2 more days. Tomorrow night, we've got football. We are finally back. Hall of Fame game. We're going to get to see Omarion Hampton out there. We're going to get to see Trey Lance throwing some passes, maybe, or just running around a lot. Either way, exciting. I'm just ready for football to be back. While you're doing that, one more. Did you see the latest news of the all right, you do this first. Let me see if I can find it. Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas arrested on charges related to illegal poker game played at the California mansion. Apparently, they were drafting too many best balls while playing poker. Yeah,
and they were not great best balls either. I saw that. I saw that. Bummer for Gil. I mean, not my favorite guy. Just the way he talked about Karl Anthony Towns and stuff. I don't know. I know he's an underdog partner, but I'm just like, man, this guy kind of seems like an asshole. Anyway, moving on. Justin Herzig's winning lineup. Wait, this is it, right? Or is this not it? Maybe this is not it. No, this is the team you drafted. Oh my. Okay, hang on. We're gonna get back to this. I searched it. I saw your tweet and I saw 4 running backs, and I was like, okay, this is clearly the team that we're looking for here.
What is this team? I don't even know what this tweet is.
This is a team that you drafted with Liam, apparently.
Okay, he must have been dominating that team. Yeah.
Ended up with 4 tight ends I kind of associate with you, though, right? Isn't that kind of a thing that you? I mean, I wouldn't. You advocate for it more than most, I would say. Is that accurate or no?
I think that's fair because my introduction to it was when Dan Zach, who I had the $50,000 kind of heads up best ball bet against, employed it very heavily. And when I'm going against someone who has willing to put $50,000 down and drafting a ton of this, I was like, I need to look heavily into this. And then I kind of understood where he was coming from because historical data did show that 4 tight ends were strong. I think there was some sample size bias with regards to what those seasons looked at and the breakout players from the first kind of 2 years of best ball. But like, there is logic and value to it. I think it's actually a really good strategy on DraftKings with 20 spots. Just go your kind of last 4. I think it's a little too much capital on Underdog, but it's not something I'm against if you're doing it correctly, and the data shows it works.
Okay. I've not done a ton of it. I've done it occasionally. I'm not finding your winning team here. I'm sure that it's there. Like if I just search higher,
give me 1 sec.
Okay. I just searched Justin Herzig winning lineup. To be fair, I probably need to search like Best Ball Mania winning. But there are a lot of articles out there about you being a winner. I come across like Rolling Stone. I come across like Reddit threads. That's all that comes up when I search Justin Herzig winning lineup. None that actually show a screenshot of the lineup. So yeah, if you can find it, we'll throw it up on the screen. I know you need to get out of here pretty soon, but while you're finding that, I do want to tell people if you want to be included in the player pool for Justin Herzig's fantasy best ball contest, where you have to do at least 100 entries. If you're doing at least 100 entries in Best Ball Mania, and you want to be included in the player pool for the Herzig contest, tomorrow is the deadline to be included in that. So I want to remind people, if you're not already in, you can DM Justin. I forget what the process is. You can tell me.
Yeah, just go to fantasybestball.com and there's an opportunity there where you can just enter the player pool. And then let's see. I think if I go on here. If I go on Underdog, they have the historical there. So I can share my screen in a second. Let me just go back to the drafts from way back when. You want to talk FF in 60 real quick while I do this?
FF in 60 is Justin releases a new newsletter. Comes out every day. I don't know. Can't remember if it comes out on the weekends, but at least every weekday, every weekend day too, Justin. And it is essentially just a 60-second read. Comes right to your email every day. I've been a big fan of it. I've been using it to my advantage in Best Ball Jeopardy a couple times. That's been really useful for me. Sometimes gives out the biggest ADP rises and fallers from the past week. Often it's just a lot of camp news, coach speak, et cetera, things that are maybe going to affect the way you draft. So I really do think that it is worth signing up. Yeah, and it's because most of us, it's like it's hard to know like where to find information. I'm always overwhelmed. Today I'm overwhelmed. I get so many, and I have notifications on for Underdog, for 32 beat writers, and I just get bombarded with so much information, and it's still I miss stuff somehow with all of that. So I think it's just one more resource you can use to get a lot of information directly to your inbox. Yeah, I recommend it.
Okay, here's the team. Appreciate that. I haven't. You may have to click on it to bring it on the screen, but I have it up there.
Then I have to do here. Oh, that's
no, that's still yours.
Oh, I have to remove mine first. That's the issue.
Okay,
there we go.
There we go. All right, so Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, Tony Pollard, Dave Montgomery, Chris Carson, Alvin Kamara. So yeah, I think it was like probably first round. Oh God, it's so long. I don't remember, but like I would guess like first, third, sixth, and eighth, something like that. Wide, because these are not in order, obviously, of where you drafted them. I don't know what this order actually is, but yeah, Calvin Ridley, T.Y. Hilton, Tyler Boyd, John Brown, Robbie Anderson, chosen, James Washington, Brian Evers, Kendrick Bourne, KJ Hamler. I mean, it just looks like such a crapshoot of wide receivers at the time. Gronk and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I mean, really strong at running back. I mean, it's funny looking at this now because I'm like, I have no idea like what the order is. Like, I don't get a lot of significance from this because I don't really remember what the landscape was at the time. A lot of obviously great players on this team, but yeah, I have no idea like where you would have drafted them. Can you see the like if you click on?
I can't see anything because it's so old. You see a grid?
Do you not see? I was wondering if my box is blocking it on the screen. No.
Nope, no grid. I think it's just such old.
Yeah.
Let me see if the team would show up here.
Oh no, not labeled. Do you remember if it got first or second in your pod?
No, I think it got first, but oh my God, like this is such a horrible.
Yeah, how are you gonna find this?
Because if I do, then we can see the draft board because there is draft boards there at least. So that'll help. Oh, did we find it? We found it.
There we go.
Okay. Share this tab instead. There we go.
Right, let me change around my screen real quick so that we can see the whole thing.
I was actually kind of close with my guess.
Your order. Let's see. And you were okay. So you're
right here, sixth spot. Yep. So Kamara with the 1, Kelce 2, Chris Carson, Calvin Ridley, Dave Montgomery. So 1, 3, 5, 6, and then round 9, and then stopped there.
Yeah. So just do you still do a lot of that, or has the landscape changed too much? Yeah.
There's just too much value. And like if I go heavy with like 2 running backs in these first 2, I could do a third here, but then what I'm going to do is just kind of hold off a bunch and grab 2 because it's more valuable in the current landscape to take 2 in rounds like 13 to 15 than grab 1 in round like 10. And so that's where like I think the hyper fragile value for that, it's more valuable to say, let me do the same thing, but make it a 5 RB build with that, with those last 2 being later. And I think the reason why is because if you not waste, but if you use all your running backs kind of like before this round 9, we know how ugly these wide receivers are. But look at this. Justin Jefferson went in the 12th round there.
Yeah.
Pittman, I think he actually had a pretty decent year in this spot. Let's see if there were any other rookies that
it's funny that they're not on your team, which won the whole contest with Justin Jefferson, Pittman, like all the big hits at wide receiver.
I needed Tom Brady though. Because and at this time I just grabbed Gronk. So I grabbed Brady here as well as my kind of bring back. Matt Ryan was for the Calvin Ridley. Atlanta played Kansas City, I think. So I think that was the bring back for the Kelsey.
Yeah.
And
Feels like a lot of Hall of Famers on this team. Maybe I'm wrong. It seems like, more than you would expect, but maybe that's just because they're retired. So it sticks out more to me now.
That's fair. Yeah.
With Gronk and Brady and Matt Ryan and yeah. Nice.
Who were the other, because this is interesting. Who were the other wide receivers? Chat, help us out here, that were in Justin Jefferson's rookie class, because we'll look to see where those were.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Was Garrett Wilson in the same class?
I know he was one of the ones that was drafted so late.
Yeah.
I think he might have been the year after.
I know it was oh man, Jalen Reagor was the same class. I know that.
That's true because the
pick before Jefferson. Maybe T. Higgins, actually. Yeah, I think it's T. Higgins because it was the year before.
There you go. Yep. That's a good one. He was the second rounder that everyone was just ignoring, and he went pick 199 back here.
Insane. Yeah.
It's funny how the landscape. I think next year was Garrett Wilson, and again, Garrett Wilson was going like in the 11th round.
Yep. It was Garrett Wilson and Jamar Chase the following year. Yeah.
Yep. And here, I mean, Justin Jefferson was old BC actually drafted?
Ruggs, Judy, and Lamb. FK Cooler splits out there.
Okay. But yeah, the reason why people were like, giving doubt to Justin Jefferson is because Olabisi Johnson was going to be the week 1 starter, and that lasted, I think, a game and a half. Yeah.
I regret to inform you that I fell for it. Like as a Vikings fan, I was like, oh, cool. It was, my second year playing best ball, and just like, all right, well, all the things are saying that it's going to be BC Johnson as the starter, and he's going in the 18th round. So I guess I'll take this guy. I feel like I've gotten a lot better since then. I think the whole field has for the most part.
I believe that. All right. Well, I'm putting the FFN 60. Oh, I can't do it. Okay. This comment has failed.
Oh, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it.
Maybe you could just put that. Just the link for people to join. If you have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, Neil, appreciate you having me on. This was fun.
Thanks a lot, Justin.
Reminiscing.
Enjoy your
BBM one.
I mean, we went over the nostalgia of BBM one. Also talked about the injury to your player that kept you from getting a milli on DraftKings. Also, which would have just separated you from the field completely. But yeah, only person to ever make it to all 5 of the first Best Ball Manias. Super impressive. Hopefully you can continue your run this year. Hopefully it's the team that we just built will get you there.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've had this question. If a team that I draft with someone else on stream gets to the finals, does it count for the streak? I think I'd have to.
No, you think
I don't
no?
know. Half, but like I think you got to round down. I think it's like the 5 out of 5 is kind of sacred. But like if I get my own there and we get one there, I'm definitely counting that as 2 because then you can round up. I feel like, right?
Yeah,
you got to hit the one.
I think that is a fair way to look at it. Definitely, if you draft with somebody else on your account, that absolutely counts. Like if it is your screen name that gets to the final, that for sure counts. Yeah, but if it's
I can't get more than 150 attempts. That's where in my mind where it's not fair because if I come on 30 streams, like now I'm getting
Yeah, I think that is fair. I'll count it for you. Everybody in chat saying that it counts. I'll count it for you. But that's free. All right, Justin, let's get you out of here. Go take care of your child, whatever it is you need to do. Really appreciate you coming on. This was fun.
Awesome. You too. Appreciate the hangout and chat. You always have a lot of real ones in here too, so I appreciate it and good talking to you all. Have a great day.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Justin. All right. Oh, I'm full screen. Oh, that's a bit much. All right. Let's get to another draft. We got enough likes. I did the thing that I don't usually do where I say I'll only do another draft if we get enough likes, and we got there. So let's do that. Let's do another draft here. Let me pull up the board. Oh, and I don't have a graphic for whatever. We don't need it. We don't need a layout here. Lumber Neil is S tier. Is that the shirt? This isn't even real flannel. This is a fake flannel. It's too hot. All right. I'm going to get into another draft, and now I'll talk to you guys. Getting into a BBM. Make sure I don't accidentally join a Best Bowl Mania. Oh, damn it. This thing. All right, I'm going to do it on my phone. I'll tell you when I'm entering. If you could like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. You can hit the notification bell to get alerts when I go live. Getting busy in August. Going to be doing a lot of streaming. If you're new to the channel and you are a DFS player, All right, I'm getting in right now to Best Ball Mania, 22nd clock. I do streams before every single Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football showdown slate. It's a format I've had a lot of success in. It's really fun doing those streams. So yeah, subscribe, hit the notification bell to know when I'm doing them. Are we full? I'm in too damn many drafts. We're full somewhere. I think I'm not going to see it until. Oh, here we go. 3-hole again. Drew Dinkmeyer in this one. Another. It's doing this thing where I can't see the full screen. It drives me crazy. Do I need to go to draft? Did I not do that yet? All right, give me a second. I'm gonna get this nice. Let me see. What am I doing wrong here? Oh yeah, I'm not in the draft. That's the issue. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'll make my pick first. All right. Yeah, I'll do Saquon again here. All right. Now I'm going to probably don't need to refresh here. Oh, and it's going to be by the bottom now. All right, I'm going to find it. Oh, I have. What am I doing? I'm already on the screen. There we go. All right, good. We're good. We got Dinkmeyer in here in the 2-hole. Gumby's in here. Anybody else in the draft with me? I think I know Kev. All right, I'll come back to chat now that I have this working. The calls. That's funny. We're people. Yeah, everybody trying to tell me how to make this work. I'm just too old, guys. Got another. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but there is a person in chat right now who is going to be my guest on this very show next week. Another fantasy sports goat. Billy says the flannel verse is usually good about everyone liking the stream. You don't need to extort the likes. We just need the occasional reminder. Yeah, I mean, I don't do it a ton, but appreciate you guys. Den, where have you been? It's been a little while. That is a Cubs hat behind my right shoulder in honor of my friend Justin Steele. We got the guess in chat for who my next guest is going to be. Well done. Well guessed. Next Wednesday. All right, anything odd going on in this draft? Looks like all the tier 1 players go in the first tier. Tyreek a little bit of goes a little earlier than normal. Nothing super out of the ordinary. Oh yeah, I can pull this back up now. JT, sure. Or do I just want to go Higgins? Let's try the Herzig approach. This is what Herzig was saying he would normally do. And I think I tend to agree. I feel like I often will IKB it a little bit more early on and then make the sidekick figure out what to do after I've done what I want. But I might get Jonathan Taylor here too. See what Dink does. Goes McBride. All right, I'll do JT. I got JT at like 29 this week. which feels pretty good to me. I feel it keeps on happening to me though when I get a big fall for one of the elite running backs on teams where I already have two running backs, which is super frustrating. I don't get it like when I want them. It's when I'm forced, and then I'm like, well, I guess it's kind of a unique combo. Probably not a lot of people having this 3-man combo of running backs, so I do it, but doesn't feel as good as if I had gone wide receiver there instead. I am young. Thank you, Denden. Just had a birthday last week. 42 years young. Neil, as a Vikings fan, what is your JJ rank right now? Missed the start. Yeah, Justin Jefferson. Probably, I mix it up so much. So he's not my unequivocal number 2 anymore. I had been drafting him almost always at the 2 spot. Now, because I can get him to fall, I don't always take him. I mean, I didn't anyway. Like I'll sometimes mix in Saquon, Bijan, CeeDee Lamb sometimes. I rarely take CeeDee Lamb over JJ. I have done it recently, again, just because I want to have a good mix. And if I can get Justin Jefferson sometimes at 5 or 6 now, I don't feel the need to always take him in the 2 hole. But like, if I were only doing one draft, it would probably still be Justin Jefferson number 2 for me. Steele is goated. Agree with that. That's a good call. Maybe this is it the Anthony Richardson effect with Jonathan Taylor? All right. Oh, I got to put my music on. What am I doing here? My jams. There we go. I don't understand why anybody plays any other song on their streams but Into Space. Easily the best song of the selections. I actually, embarrassingly, I was watching David Kitchen on Late Round earlier, and he was playing a song, and I was kind of like head bopping to it, and I was like, oh, he's a fellow Into Space enjoyer. And then he corrected me. It was some other song that was not nearly as good, but then he started playing Into Space to show me what the difference is. And I was like, oh yeah, this is way better. It's just by far the best song option that they have in StreamYard for free. Some nice options here. Now, here's where I'm torn between. I don't feel like I want to take Jalen Hurts here. I think I'm more inclined to take Devonta Smith if I were going to do that. And then just see if Hurts or Burrow comes back to me. Or I could just do Pickens. I'm going to do this. Play the room. See how it goes. And then I do put myself in the situation of if this hole does not take Jamar Chase, and then I take Jalen Hurts, do I want Joe Burrow on the comeback? And that's a tougher question. Now, I have learned that sometimes using the sidekick sims, you don't always need to pair Jalen Hurts. Maybe it's not even the right option always to add Devonta Smith, so I get why it just wants me to take Jalen Hurts first instead, because it's like, all right, if you don't get Devonta Smith, who cares? That's actually best in this sim. But I still can't get over my my classic way of building a lot of the time. All right, let's see. What? C-Money? You saying that this song is very not jamming? But then you say W, so I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, Jordan Addison to me is just, he is, every year people have concerns about him. I do, like, I think he's going to be suspended for 3 games. I've assumed that was the case all along, but it's going to be at the beginning of the season. I'm not that concerned about it. So I think he's a pretty good click where he goes. I think he's going to be in part of that potent Vikings offense. And I have not been like a super Vikings bull prior to this year, but this year I'm just like, they have this good young quarterback that they traded for. They're clearly doing everything they can to bolster the offense for him. The offensive line, the best they've had in a few years, I think. I don't know. I think he's going to be. They play in a dome. The schedule a little bit difficult. That's the one thing I don't love about the Vikings. But Week 17 game with the Lions, I think, could be a fun one. Has potential to be a shootout. I think Addison's just good. I think that's what we have learned about Jordan Addison. Is just he's going to put up numbers. He's done it both years. So, I mean, when he falls, like I'm not reaching to get Jordan Addison at 65, but if I can get him at 75, 80, whatever. This is a bridge too far for me. I'm also a big Pickens guy. So I would not take Addison over Pickens. I think in part because I think Justin Jefferson separates more than CeeDee Lamb does. So yeah, I would not go that far to take him when Pickens is available. Also, you don't need to. Just like if we're playing a portfolio of lineups, you don't need to be reaching there. Interesting. Jacoby Myers. Oh, okay. Stephon Diggs. We got to switch there at the last second. Burrow is still there. So that was the question. Do I take them both? Sidekick says no. I'm going to side with the sidekick here. With Hurts and Burrow. I thought about it. I did think about it, but congrats to Magnum. Assuming that he wants it. He or she wants it. All right, I could go. Sometimes I also IKB when it's like, I could take like Ibuka here just because I think he might continue to rise up. I don't think I'm going to, but that is a spot where sometimes I'll IKB the sidekick just based on like, I think that, the players are moving too quickly. And, even if they have a player that's ranked better and sims out better, I might just want to get more shares of, Dylan Sampson or whoever the player is that's moving quickly. And Egbuka might be one of those, but maybe not quite at 75 when Montgomery's there. But it's a close one for me. It is, for those of you who might not have picked up on it, it is Shady Advice coming on this channel next week. So I'm excited to talk to him about how he uses Sidekick. So Shady is the architect of the Sidekick that I'm using here on the side of the screen. I think it's a fantastic tool. I know that there are times when he will also IKB it. Not that often. He usually will just take the top click, I think, but I want to talk about it with him. I'm excited to hear how he uses it, how sometimes he might go contrary to the top suggestion, etc., etc. Because as somebody, I'm going to get 5 figures down this year in best ball. I think he's going to be one of the very few people who will get 6 figures down in best ball. So he's putting his money where his mouth is very much. Yeah, FK Cooler says, I'd love to hear what he feels the biggest limitations are, where a user will want to consider overriding it. Yeah, exactly. Show up and ask your questions. We can ask him directly. Jordan Mason goes. That was the dream for me. There's no way I'm getting him though at 94 anymore. That was a last week price. Price of the brick has gone up. Surprised to see Kyler being one of the top suggestions here. Kind of. I guess just the limited options available. Not the best range. Cooper Kupp is kind of growing on me. He's somebody that I felt super gross clicking all summer, and I think just like this past week, I've sort of come around to like maybe he's not actually that gross of a click. Like if Sam Darnold just doesn't suck, like they're probably throwing it a lot. We've seen wide receivers switch teams, have a resurrection when we had left them for dead. I really don't want Kyler Murray. Like, what are my stacking options here? Michael Wilson late, but I don't love the other options. All right, I'll sidekick it. Oh, I just did that to Dink, didn't I? He has Trey McBride. Apologies to Dink. If I had just taken the player I wanted, he could have had him. He's probably not watching the stream, and he's just like, what the fuck? What is going on? I do think Mark Andrews probably going to be rising. Yeah, I'm going to do that instead. Yeah, Mason hype is very real. That Guka price very much moving up. Yeah, that is true. Just being able to get 6 figures down. He's doing pretty well for himself. That's like a week of DFS winnings for Shady. What do we think is going on with Noah Fant? I know Liam is a bull on Noah Fant. I'm just not convinced that he's going to rise high enough that like I need to be taking him right now. I feel like I can just wait it out, see what happens. More of a concern for the other tight ends I take. He's going to eat into what they're doing. I really hope he goes to Cincinnati because I am not where I should be with my Mike Gesicki exposure. Davis says undraftable. Liam Bullish, yeah. Those are the two opinions I already know, though. Well, what do you guys think? I played a video yesterday on this channel. The first time I created a short, spent probably 3 hours creating a Piss Boys Piss Break video for when I need to go to the bathroom, just to throw up some people to watch. It's a lot of short NFL clips. I had gathered just based on like a Twitter comment that maybe you're okay posting NFL clips if they're under 7 seconds. This is just a random thing I saw on a post on Twitter, and I was like, I guess I'll just test it out, see what happens. So I made this short video to put on when I go to the bathroom, and already got an email from YouTube saying my video was demonetized, which it's not the end of the world because like I don't make a ton of money from YouTube ads anyway, but still kind of a bummer that's a thing. Can't just play the videos I want to. Dallas Goedert is a suggestion. Is that what I want to do though? Drake May went. All right. Trust. And you might look at this and say, well, that's 21 picks at ADP. That's crazy. But a lot of, based on watching Shady and Sacrilegious, those guys, Seems like what it's telling you is at your next pick and the pick following that, you're better off spending those picks on other positions. So you're going to like your combo of picks better if you take Dallas Goedert here. So here I'm just putting my trust into the sidekick. See what happens. Cal Williams, another long touchdown today. Some drumbeat there. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be a committee wherever Noah Fant goes. Yeah, Matt says not going to impact. So you're not taking any Darren Waller, I take it. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for appreciating my Piss Boys piss break. It was I had fun putting together the video. Mostly because I just got to watch a lot of NFL clips, but Noah Fant, Joel says, Noah Fant is and always has been bad at NFL football. He certainly has not done anything fantasy-wise that has been super awesome. Thank you, Brett. Yeah, YouTube does hate fun. Yeah, Candyman says, I wonder if it messes up the algo too. I also wonder that. Although I also wonder, like, could it be positive for the algo? Because now the NFL is monetizing my video. So, like, could they? No, they're not gonna promote it. but I kind of wonder when I first saw it, I was like, could this have a positive impact potentially? Instead of making $3.13 off this video, can I get more exposure from the NFL monetizing it somehow? So far, no. That's the answer. Is this the whole reason that Noah is so bullish on Noah Fant? Because he won in BBM? Oh, that's a good point. Go Easy Card says it could be the movie clips. I did have movie clips in there. Didn't even think about that. Maybe I need to read it more closely. 0 to 97 BBM teams with Waller, Matt says. I better check in. I really desperately need to get 2 monitors. I'm redoing my whole office, I think. Oh man, Dylan Sampson was there. All right, QJ. I'm not going to get Dobbs, I'm pretty sure. Saw Dink took Love. That's all right. I forgot I have Kyler. I was just thinking, like, what is my plan for QB2 here? I've already answered that. I'm going to take my my Bigsby share since I don't have Tootin on this one. I don't have a ton of Bigsby. Feels like a good spot to get him. So the reason I desperately need a second monitor is currently my setup is right now. So what I'm looking at right now is the draft screen. And if I go, so now I'm going to StreamYard so I can see what you guys are saying. Pretty sure the draft screen just pauses for everybody whenever I go away from it, which is super frustrating for me and the viewer. And this is something that I've just realized you can work around it. There's probably a way to do it with just one monitor that I just don't know. But yeah, dual monitors I think is what I need to do here. I'm going back to the screen so you can see. Probably pull it up on my phone so I can look at comments. I just can't show them on the screen. But yeah, again, if you guys would like the video, subscribe to the channel, etc., etc. Much appreciated. All right, let me pull it up on my phone. I know that I'm not doing well with the algo because I try to find my own video on my phone while I'm live, and it's like I have to go to my channel to go find it. There it is. All right. Okay, everybody agreeing on dual monitors. Oh, Candyman says it won't pause if both tabs are not maximized, so you can switch back and forth. So I could, all right, if I leave this one, I need to leave, at least with my current setup, I need to leave the draft screen full. But so if I make my StreamYard a little bit smaller, let's see if this works. Is it working now or no? Oh, maybe this did it. All right, let's see this make just a little bit bigger. Is the draft board moving? Or did it pause? I think it's working. There we go. What a guy. Thank you, Candyman. I just need to have it like slightly smaller than full screen. It appears to be moving. Yeah. All right. Very nice. Now I can look at, but how far behind am I? So Gino just went in real time. 162 is on the clock. Pop just went. Okay. We're good. We're good. The Candyman can. Exactly right. I mean, still, dual monitor would be better. All right, we're on the clock. Yet another Jalen Noel share. Ooh, Nick Chubb there. I'm going Chubb. I have so much Jalen Noel. I'll still take him if he comes back to me. I'm still going to take another share of Jalen Noel probably. Also, I see Jerome Ford here, which is, I do owe an apology to JJ Zacharyson because people had asked me, one person asked me, who is the player that you are on an island on in best ball? And I've said multiple times now, I'm on an island with Jerome Ford. And then I was watching late round stuff today, and I was reminded, JJ gave me the idea for Jerome Ford. Now that was before the whole Judkins situation. But like he planted the seed of Jerome Ford prior to the Judkins situation as a player we could consider on DraftKings. And he's still in on Jerome Ford. So I stole Jerome Ford, the idea for Jerome Ford from JJ initially. So I'm not actually on an island here. Yeah, the garage is streaming late night, every night. Fantastic stuff. Always love catching a garage stream. JSU says, I can't believe you've been doing all these streams with one monitor. Yeah, I'm actually going to redo my entire office pretty soon, so that all that won't be behind me. I'm going to be move stuff around so I'm up against a wall and get to choose my background. Try to make it look a little bit more professional. But yeah, we're a low-key operation here. Oh, Liam, also a Jerome Ford bull? All right. There are dozens of us. FK Cooler says there's so much content between streams and articles that if you're on an actual island, there's a good chance it's simply bad. But I doubt anyone wants to hear that. That is fair. If you're like literally the only person with a take. Is Tyler Higbee, is he my island? I got it from Debro though, so yeah, there is somebody else on the island with me. Is this Liam's bit? I always thought he was just a Bills guy. Is Liam's bit actually just like anybody who's ever made money for him? Those are the guys he wants? Because that's Felix's bit. You can't steal that bit from Felix, who it's like literally just like the last guy to score him points was Najee Harris. So he drafts him in every draft. I actually think he's doing less of that this year, but Huhame's a fellow Higby enjoyer. Yeah, I'm not with you on Tyler Lockett Island. Cooper Kupp I'm buying now. Lockett I think is just pretty washed. Cooper Kupp was actually like put up pretty good numbers last year when healthy. Uh-oh, is my sidekick not working? Because I already took Jalen Noel and it's suggesting Jalen Noel. Maybe I need to reset. So I'm at 2.562. I mean, Jack Besh seems like a pretty fine bet there. Michael Wilson's gone. Yeah. All right, we'll go Besh. Let me reset the sidekick. All right, we're back. Although it's Hopkins. Oh, he's low in the rankings here. Kind of like Hopkins. Yeah. Shady says they're pushing a change on the sidekick. All right, well, I'm back. We got it working again. Liam calls them brand guys. All right. DeAndre Hopkins actually, like my latest pick. This was he was the final catch that I needed to win the Millie. So I guess he is maybe my biggest brand guy. It did take him until the final minute of overtime. He did not catch a pass in like the last, 12 minutes of the fourth quarter. And then all of overtime, I needed one catch for 6 yards to win the Millie. But he got there. He got there with 1 minute left. So I will always be a DeAndre Hopkins appreciator. All right, it's resetting again. I see. Make me use my brain, Shady. So I'm at 2.582. A lot of the favorites here at the top. Anybody else? Sadly, Marshawn Lloyd, once again, looking like a sucker's bet that I've been making. Just cannot stay healthy. Could consider a Trevor Etienne. Sean Tucker. Krosky Merritt. Eli Mitchell. I think that's the list for me. Is he? He's my brand guy, DeAndre Hopkins. I'm okay with that. He's pretty cool. Other players that could be associated with that win. Todd Gurley scored an accidental touchdown that benefited me. I got 2 touchdowns out of, I can't remember his name. Harrison Bryant. scored 2 touchdowns in his first NFL start. I'm going Krosky Merritt. I just have not drafted enough Krosky Merritt for his potential. And like, I think he's getting so much buzz that he's going to be not often available in the late 18th round. I could be wrong about that. Maybe he's not going to get steamed up as much as I'm worried about, but I just want to make sure that I have some at this price because he's been available here and I have not been drafting him. Have I ever met any NFL players, or who would you want to meet if not? I have not. No, it was literally, I'll answer that question about NFL players. Bobby asks, are you talking about the Murray to Hopkins Hail Mary versus the Bills? No, this is 2021. So it was Cardinals versus Seahawks, week, I think 7, some game in October. So just like a random, it was during COVID. And the game was part of the main slate on DraftKings, but because of COVID, for some reason, it was flexed to Sunday night. So it was the rare game where Sunday Night Football was included in the main slate. And I didn't know until halftime of that Sunday Night Football game that I had a milli sweat. And then DeAndre Hopkins was doing really well. And then with like 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter or something, I got to the point where I was like, all right, he's 6 yards away from the 100-yard bonus. If he has one more catch for 6 yards, I am going to be in position to win this milli pretty easily. And then he did not have a catch the entire, they had multiple drives, did not have a catch the entire fourth quarter, all of overtime until 1 minute left in overtime, had like a 9-yard catch, just like a random, like not meaningless. It was an overtime game. They then made a field goal to end the game. So it was a meaningful catch, but not like an exciting play other than I needed 6 yards. He got me 9. NFL player that I would love to meet. I'm not a big meet athletes kind of guy. Like Justin Steele, obviously I've gotten to know, but he's just like, he's a fantasy football nerd who happens to be a pro athlete, just a guy that I like. Justin Jefferson, if I were going to meet an NFL player, Justin Jefferson would have to be at the top of that list. Beast mode would be fun. All right, let's see. All right, so the final team is Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Dave Montgomery, Tank Bigsby, Nick Chubb, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, T. Higgins, Devonta Smith, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Williams, Quentin Johnston, Jalen Noel, Jack Besh, DeAndre Hopkins, Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert. 2-6-8-2. Not my favorite thing when I end up with just only one of my quarterbacks is stacked. He is double stacked, triple if you include Saquon Barkley. So making a big bet on Philadelphia feels pretty good. If I got Michael Wilson, I'd feel a little bit better about having just a 1 second quarterback with Kyler. I feel really good about my running backs. I think this is an awesome running back class. Obviously, you start with Saquon, JT. It's going to be awesome. But then I got good prices, I think, on Demont, Bigsby, Chubb, and then Krosky Merritt as the, like, don't really need any. He could be a 0, that's fine. But if he ends up being something, that'd be cool. Wide receiver, maybe a little bit weak, but can probably get the job done. And then two strong tight ends, I think. I feel pretty good about it. All right, should we do one more? I am not going to play the video. That would demonetize this stream. Just going to get into one more draft and then be done. So I'll go. I'm gonna do it on my phone. Not going to beg for likes for this one. We're just going to get in. I'll tell you when I'm entering. All right, entering now. 5 more, 4 more. 3 more. Good. I found it. Found it before it entered the fray of all the other drafts I have going on right now. You joining the what? Fellow Minnesota guy. All right, let's see. Oh, sorry, I'm behind on chat. Yeah, just answering the NFL. Obviously, also like meeting like Tom Brady would be cool. Just like hanging out with Tom Brady would be fun. Frank Gore, that would be cool. Sorry, Jerry, I missed this. I will usually sauce teams when I'm solo. I don't do it when I have guests on, but usually when I'm solo, if I think of it, I'm willing to sauce teams. But that was a fun. Oh, we got Dink in this one. Again, Dink just trying to take advantage of my streams. I'm in the 6 hole. This is probably my favorite spot to draft. Oof. JC, I'm winning the 16-17 turn. Yeah. Yeah, it was a long time too, waiting for one catch, and he had been like their huge target monster up until that point. So it was like, all right, clearly this should happen. Like I'm the favorite here, and then just did not get any targets for so long. Yeah, not Aaron Hernandez is a good answer. There are a lot of not answers for me also. Saquon. Did you see Adam Ottavino, the relief pitcher starters on YouTube channel? You may like it. He totally nerds out over baseball and breaks down plate appearance and stuff. That is that's interesting. Maybe I'll check it out. I don't watch a ton of baseball. I watch Steele when he's pitching. So I actually watched some A's early on too, because I was fascinated by their new stadium. Oh, I wanted Saquon so bad at 6, but I'll go Gibbs. All right. Very early, he only has like 300 subs. That could be cool. That could be fun. Maurice Jones-Drew. That's a good one. Yeah, I'm not like a huge MLB. I actually go through phases. There was, while I was in college, so I went to college, Tufts University outside of Boston. I don't just want to say in Boston, because then people are like, did you go to Harvard? Did you go to MIT? No, I didn't go to one of the schools that you know. I went to Tufts University. But we watched the Red Sox like every night. And then actually I came home from college. I watched the Twins basically every day with my brother. So I have gone through periods where I watch a ton of baseball, but these days you can stream whatever you want on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. I'm just going to name a million streaming services right now. I just usually choose to watch that over baseball if I have time to watch something. Which, like, and then NFL season, I watch a lot of NFL. I watch some NBA. Not a ton of baseball. See, I love my options here. Bowers, I'll take Bowers. That's funny. Shady says, how was the Sox game in black and white? Shady, you're like the same age as me. But it probably was a lot less clear back in 2003, 2004, etc. I guess 2002 was my first year there. Actually, that's a funny story. The first time my parents visited me was, I think it was my freshman year, and they came in during a Red Sox, if I'm remembering this right, I believe it was a Red Sox Yankees playoff game, and everybody was like huge Red Sox fans. So we went to an apartment of some upperclassmen who were like the biggest, like they're from Massachusetts, huge Red Sox fans. We're watching a game. I want to say like game 6. You could look it up. I don't remember exactly what the game was, but my parents walk into this apartment that these upperclassmen had, and immediately Aaron Boone, who was on the Yankees at the time, hit a home run to win the game. So my parents came in, and immediately it was like everybody's just like, "Oh my God, Red Sox just lost to the Yankees again," before they had ever won any of their World Series. So that was a pretty funny memory of my college days. Do I continue to do the Omarion Hampton thing? Do I go elite quarterback? Screw it. I'm doing the Omarion Hampton thing. If Najee's fine, he's fine. Omarion Hampton still could just be an awesome pick. They're talking about using him in the passing game. I think that's like one of the concerns is they won't want to throw to the running back. They're talking about him like he could be a game changer. They might change the game plan for him. So I'm still buying Hampton. 2003, Brady says. Okay. So that would have been my sophomore year. So I think they dropped me off my freshman year. And then they visited me my sophomore year. That would make sense. That was like the time that they... So the first time back after dropping me off. Then 04 happened, which was the insane down 3-0, 1-4 straight in New York. Yep. But yeah, this year I've watched Twins. Like if I go to the bar after a softball game, Twins are on, I'll watch them. Like I do get sucked in when I watch when baseball's on. I don't often turn on the games. But I do love like baseball highlights. So I'll watch a ton of, home runs saved or just home runs. Like it is fun watching baseball highlights. Rashee Rice still ahead of Xavier Worthy in terms of ADP. That's interesting. I thought they would flip by now. Ready smashing Omarion Hampton also. Yeah. Oh, Worthy hurt today? What? Oh yeah. No, that's Hollywood also hurt, but Worthy I actually did hear about. I don't think it's something I'm concerned about just yet. Maybe I should be. What's up, Steph? Good to see you. In concussion protocol. Oh yeah. So that's what I talked about earlier with Justin. Yeah, but he's got 6 weeks to get out of concussion protocol. Still, I mean it's a concern. It is a concern. Maybe I should have broken the tie somewhere else. If Pickens were there, maybe I would have gone Pickens, but Tet's already gone. A lot of my favorites off the board. Travis Hunter. I think I'm pro Travis Hunter here. I am obviously, I have the same concerns everybody else has with Travis Hunter. That he might not be a full-time player. But I think there's just a lot of outs for Travis Hunter, playing a lot more offense than we're expecting, or just like they're only using him, or they're using him more when he's out there than they typically would other receivers. So like it's just his target share is going to be higher than your classic receiver, because when they're playing Travis Hunter on offense, they're finding ways to use him. All right, catching up on chat. Brady not too worried about Worthy. Good to hear. The what says he needs to stop taking Jaden. Aren't you a Vikings guy? Come on. No, I take Aram out of Jaden also. I think he's a pretty good bet where he goes. No, I'm not doing any preseason content. I've never really played the preseason much, so there are a lot of people doing content that are better at it than I am. Just are more plugged into preseason. Obviously, Cody Main. Maybe I'll end up playing. Just like watch a Cody stream or something, or read a Cody article. But I'm not plugged in, so I won't be doing it. I started streaming last year on this channel. I had been, employed by Stochastic up until January of 2024. So I guess it's been a year and a half now. I think I probably launched the channel in March of 2024. Oh, thank you so much. Jawan Jennings, love to see it. Don't see Jennings fall that much these days. He's usually at like the 5-6 turn. So on a team where I'm needy at wide receiver, that's helpful. Yeah, exactly. FK Cooler says Hunter is too electric for me to be all out. I'm skeptical, but his spikes could be very big. That's kind of what I'm assuming also. Now, I am concerned, and this is something I've talked about a lot, that like I don't want to mistake spike weeks and splash plays. I think that those are two different things that people like kind of conflate a lot. Like he can have splash plays, a 60-yard touchdown where it's like literally that's all he does for the game. I'm not expecting that to be the case for Travis Hunter. I think that when he has a splash play, it's probably going to be part of, he's going to have a handful of other catches. He'll put up some more points than just that one splash play. But those are guys that I'm always wary of, that like people get too excited about the splash play guys that like just don't do anything else. So it's like, great, they have, 14 points or something off of that one awesome play, or 13 points. You do need them to do something other than the one splash play. But obviously, if you stack splash plays in the same game. All right, Stephon Diggs. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not buying too much, putting too much stock into the read running with two wide receiver sets. Scott Barrett put out a tweet that I thought was a good one, and they're just mixing it up. I don't think that it's like, Jaden Reed is going to be doing two wide receiver sets. They just never have used him in the two wide receiver sets, so I don't think we can be too confident that he's going to continue to be in the two wide receiver set. I think it was just like they're trying out different things. Brady says, I want to start doing my own streams. Guess you just got to start and stay consistent. Yeah, I mean, honestly, so many people are streaming best ball these days. It's so easy. You set up StreamYard, Canva. I think that's like all you need to start streaming. Takes nothing to do. Like when you start, you're probably not going to have a big audience. I still don't have a huge audience a lot of the time, like relative to other streamers. It does help. Yeah, I won a Millie Maker in DFS. That helps a little bit. But like still, my best ball audience, not always that, like nothing close to like Pete, Davis, those guys. It's tough. It's tough to get people to watch your streams. I do believe I read somewhere that YouTube is currently like really boosting new channels. So if you want to do it, you'll probably get some people to watch from the start. And then, yeah, if you're having fun, who really cares? If you have 5 people watching your stream, very easy to do. Ooh, Jordan Mason, so close. Yeah, Mahomes a little past ADP. I'll take it. Would have loved Jordan Mason there. Yeah, FK Cooler says, I agree. I envision a ceiling game for Hunter to be 4 or 5 catches, but 2 touchdowns and possibly big yards. Yeah, I mean, even 4 or 5 catches, if he has 80 yards and a touchdown, like you'll take that. Yeah, Canva is helps you make thumbnails, as Steph says. Any kind of graphics. I'm trying to think what else you need. Like if you want to do shorts, you can use Opus Clip. But those are like the two big things that just, if you want to get started, just Canva, StreamYard. It's not difficult to use either of them. Robert says, my Millie win was the same week he had his first big hit in DFS. The degeneracy cascaded from there. Did you also have Tyler Lockett in your lineup? Because that was what you needed that week. All right, do I go Burden here? Feels early for Burden. Wait, is Caleb off the board? Yeah, Caleb's off the board. I'm going Cup. Right, unless I missed him. Yeah, that would be the one thing to get me to take Burden way ahead of ADP is if Caleb was still there and I could get him potentially with my next pick. Then I would have thought about it. I love that. Shady says, if you're going to start streaming, make sure you have a friend willing to sit in chat and make it active. New viewers are much more likely to stick around if you have even just one other person. That's good advice. I think that's really good advice. My streams that do the best here are often like I just have a friend in chat, just like, you know, being active, asking questions. People are way more likely to stick around if you do that. I've also found, somewhat surprisingly, my streams often do better when it's just me as opposed to having a guest on. Even when I have like guests that on their own have much bigger audiences than I do, because I think it allows you to interact with the audience more. But I don't know that that's always the case. In general, like if you can get a guest on, it's probably not a bad idea. T-Law. Sure. That's also a small, I guess that's really just one video that I did on my own that I did surprisingly well. And it's also the first time I've ever used the clickbait marketing of Fantasy Football Millionaire in the title, which may have also contributed. Canvas in your resume. Yep. Model had it at 59%. Actually, I should have looked at that. I forgot to look at the PA model. And he did not make it back to me. Quinshot Judkins, probably my biggest IKB off of the sidekick is I'm just out on Judkins until I see. And I'm guessing that they have, I mean, I assume Shady could answer if you wanted to, but it's got to be in the model somewhere that there's a potential for a 0 from Judkins. And then it's just the upside. The right end tail is probably just so good that he still makes sense a lot of the time. But I'm just betting against it. What got Brady sucked in was winning in DFS 2023. Late swap Jacobs in, and he dropped 50 against Seattle in overtime back when he was a Raider. That's fun. Solid advice from Shady Advice. Yeah, despite the name, he actually doesn't give a ton of shady advice. It's usually just like accurate, truthful advice. All right. If I don't want Judkins, what do I do here? And I don't. I do not want Judkins. I guess I just take the second in line here. All right, we're going Kyle Williams. I would have switched that last second if I had thought about it more. Because there are other picks I liked a lot better there. I try to interact with chat a lot. It's a lot harder when I have people with me. Okay, so you have only a 3% chance that he misses the whole season. I feel like it's higher than that, but I know you guys you're being thoughtful with it, so it's probably smart. Brady says, surprise, this is the first time I've stopped into your streams. I'm a big viewer in the scene, mainly Pete, Davis, and Liam. We'll be back when I can. I really appreciate that. Yeah, if you would subscribe, that'd be helpful. My guess is that you came here from Pete's stream, because Pete did redirect to my channel today. Very, very kind of Pete to redirect here. Okay. Dylan Sampson, that's my dude. I feel like I need some running back help. Judkins is still there, so I could have still done it, apparently. Yeah, I think I see those odds as greater than 3% that Judkins just doesn't play this year. But maybe that's harsh. Just the fact that he hasn't signed there. That he's just like away from the team. The way they talk about it, saying that they're cautiously optimistic that he's going to play for the Browns, to me is like, that's cautious optimism does not say like the same as, oh yeah, he's going to play for the Browns at some point. It's more like, I don't know. I'd be nervous with him on my team. Yeah, I mean, FQ says one of my overrides with the HUD type tool would be not picking an unstacked quarterback when suggested, especially if little to no backstack options. That is probably one of the times that I IKB it the most. Oftentimes, I will not take Kyler when he's a suggestion. Another one of my more likely to IKB, just because there's only one backstack option that I like with Kyler. Now, probably we'd be better off just like trusting the Sims more often. So I do that, but I do it enough, like off stream. For the most part, with my Superflex teams, I'm just going to trust the Sim. I do it plenty. Like if I'm doing a bunch of slow drafts, I do it plenty. But there are certain spots where I'm picking my spots where I'm saying, you know what, I want to make this bet over the course of the season. Which I do have some concerns about that. You know, how it's going to work with the Sims when maybe the Sims are saying, oh, well, you can always, you know, you don't need to take a running back now because you can get Judkins later on. And I'm not taking Judkins anyway. So that's something I'll have to talk about with Shady. Do I want Tua? I don't think I love the backstack options with Tua. So I'll at least push it. I did think about taking Nick Chubb there. Yeah, this to me is what says he's only at 1% Judkins, but he has Barkley and JT, so we can afford to take Judkins. Exactly. Yeah, that's a good spot for Judkins. All right, later C Money. And yes, please do like the stream if you haven't already done so. Very helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. If you want to get alerts when I go live, hit the little notification bell. I won't be live tomorrow at all. Maybe I'll come back on Friday or Saturday. But I do consistent streams on Mondays and Wednesdays. Same time every week, 4 Eastern on Mondays with Mathology, and then 3 Eastern on Wednesdays. I might build in a third regular stream time. But I've not yet. I will be on Best Ball Jeopardy tomorrow night on the Fanspeak Network, competing against Nez from the Badge Bros in the first round of or second round, I guess. I don't know if I played already to make the bracket, how that works exactly, but yeah, competing with Nez in that tournament because Overzet did not have time to do it. So Nez taking his spot. All right, where are we at? 2-4-6-2. I've got Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, Jahmyr Gibbs, Omarion Hampton, Dylan Sampson, Tyler Algier, Xavier Worthy, Travis Hunter, Juwan Jennings, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Kyle Williams, Brock Bowers, Brenton Strange. So I might need another tight end if I don't want to just eat the 0 in week 8. I'll think about it. All right, Darnold, come on down. Got him stacked up with Kupp. Now I can't double stack him, or I'm not going to double stack him with Elijah Arroyo because I already have the 2 week 8 tight ends. Another draft I did not get, Jerome Ford. So clearly not on an island there, but somebody's taking him every draft, and I'm not getting him all the time. So what should I ask Shady next week? Any thoughts? I have a lot. I have a lot now. Maybe I should write them down so I remember all the things I want to ask him. Also trying to get Pat on, and he said that he will come on. Just need to find the right day for that. Also, I've had Zach on already. I have moved this back. I early in the summer was always trying to get several guests. And then I've realized I kind of enjoy having some time where it's just me getting to take my own players, talk with chat. So I've only been lining up one guest. Maybe I'll start doing some with two. It's like there's pros and cons. Like obviously I love having guests on because I like just being able to talk to somebody. But then it's also just fun to be able to make your own picks. Yeah, FK Cooler says, I feel like the island I was on was picking Moss in the 18th round, and then he was cut, so maybe I was correct that it's just a bad haha. Yeah, yeah, I read off your haha. Were you intending that I would read off your haha? Yeah, I didn't take any Moss, so I definitely was not with you on that island. I don't know if you've taken any P run either. Just Todd Brooks for me. Thanks, Bruce. Yeah, Justin is a smart dude. Yeah, I was not initially sure if I was gonna like enjoy a 60-second newsletter. I'm like, I'm on Twitter all day anyway, but it is good to just have like a refresh your memory at the very least. And sometimes it is like there's info in there that I'm not seeing. Do I want DeAndre Hopkins? Yeah, why not? See, I do take the suggestion of the sidekick frequently. I just pick and choose my spots to IKB it. Yeah, Emmanuel Wilson, that might work out because Lloyd cannot stop getting hurt. I don't think we are today, WFM. I mean, we get a ton of the Canadian fire smoke. It has been an issue. Like we frequently have such bad air quality because of the Canadian fires that like the suggestion is don't go outside today, which is a bummer. Like that, it's in the summer. It's like we look forward to this all year, and then it's like, oh, it's too smoky, and you can smell it. Yeah, it's pretty awful. This is not real flannel, for the record. I just had to go with the flannel look. Big haze over Lake Superior. That's a bummer. Where are you, WFN? You're somewhere in Minnesota, right? Woody Marks went. Do I do another to Corey Krosky merit? Yeah. Why not? That's fun. North Shore. Oh, past 2 hours. Are you near Gooseberry Falls? Have you ever been to Gooseberry Falls? Gooseberry Falls, my favorite place to go up north, and they have a lookout and just like over Lake Superior. It's so beautiful, like on a nice day. One of my favorite places to go. I almost posted a video at one point of my favorite thing to do is throwing rocks into Lake Superior, and then I thought, is this something that like I'll get in trouble for? Are you not supposed to throw rocks out into the water? You're probably not. Like I'm looking out. I'm not seeing, like there's no people down there. But then I'm like, I guess I could like harm the fish or something. There's probably like PETA's gonna hate me for this, and it's something I didn't even think about until I was like, oh, maybe I'll throw rocks. Maybe I'll post that I'm gonna throw rocks out there. So hey, maybe that's not a good idea. But it's super fun, you know, just being able to chuck rocks as far as you want into the water. And it's like down, so it's not like you're throwing just like out into a lake. Like that's fun, but like being able to, you're way up on an overlook, and then you chuck rocks out, and they just fly. It's a good time. The air in Wisconsin is red level and healthy. I mean, Wisconsin's just unhealthy in general. No, I'm kidding. Wisconsin can be fun. Jim says, JCM, way too much fun of a click for how likely it's to be 0. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Gooseberry Falls. If anybody has not been there, you're looking for a beautiful outdoor spot. It's a cool, fun place to spend an afternoon. Palisade. I don't think I've been to Palisade Head. Overlook along Highway 61. Yeah, thanks for joining the draft. The what? Have I been to the Upper Peninsula? I don't think I have. I feel like I should know this. I should know the answer to that question, Michelle. My brother lives in Ann Arbor, and they have a cottage on Lake Michigan, but it's not in the UP. I'm trying to remember if I feel like we've talked about going there, but I don't think I've actually been to the UP. I've heard good things. All right, let's review the team. If you want me to look at your team, I'll do that also. This is the last draft I'm doing. So if anybody wants me to look at their team, happy to do so. My team, I'll look at first. I ended up with Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, and Sam Darnold. At quarterback, at running back, I have Jahmyr Gibbs, Omarion Hampton, Dylan Sampson, Tyler Algier, Brashard Smith, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Wide receivers are Xavier Worthy, Travis Hunter, Juwan Jennings, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Kyle Williams, and DeAndre Hopkins. Tight ends, I ended up with just the two. Brock Bowers, Bretton Strange, Eaton 0 in week 8. This team going to separate by so much that not going to matter. We're hoping. Overall, it's a fine team. Mahomes with Smith and Xavier Worthy. T-Law with Hunter. My rare, and Strange, my rare no Tootin team. Darnold with Cooper Kupp. Did not get any Bear bringbacks. Did I get any Colts with my Jacksonville? I don't think so. Kansas City is playing Denver. No, I didn't do any week 17 stacks. It's a fine team. It's not my favorite team. Some players I like. All right, any I'd know. Yeah, I'm sure I would. I've heard only good things about the UP. Yeah, Madison is pretty fun to visit. Thank you, Jim. All right, nobody wanting glazing here. Or no, that's not what we do. We don't do glazing. We do the opposite. We do what's the word I'm looking for? Where you neg a team. I think I'm not doing it though. If you could, if you want me to, I will. If you could, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. It's very helpful. If you comment under the video after the video is done, that is also very helpful for the algorithm. Would be very much appreciated. If you want to get alerts when I go live, you can click the little notification about saucing. Thank you. Shady knows the term, of course. Yeah, but nobody's asking for it. So that is going to do it for this stream. I'll be back Friday or Saturday for another stream, probably just a solo stream, and then back on Monday with Mythology. If you want to check out Best Ball Jeopardy tomorrow night, that's on the Fanspeak Network. I'm out of here. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.